and welcome to MandoBug Crafts, episode 41. Hey, what's up? I'm MandoBug. You can call me Amanda if you want. I'd like to say welcome to new viewers. Thanks for taking time out of your day to come check me out. And thank you, of course, to my returning viewers. You guys are lovely, and I enjoy speaking to you once a week through the camera, but also in the Ravelry group, YouTube comments. I love just communicating with you guys. It's great. So starting the show out with something I've learned. This week I finished my first Fractal spin. So I think I mentioned last week that I was going to spin that Nidian color Sleepy Hollow Falkland into a Fractal spin. So what you do is you split the braid long ways and you spin one straight, which will give you long color repeats. And then you tear the other one up into smaller chunks of color and then you spin that. So I have a picture of when the two singles were on their bobbins, and I thought it was pretty cool, so I'll go ahead and insert it here. And so I went ahead and I two-plied those. So this is the first time I've attempted a fingering weight two-ply as well. So it's different than what I normally get from yarn. So here's what I ended up with. I'm very happy with the yarn. I ended up with 406 ounces, this is the second week in a row now that I get the yards and the ounces backwards. 406 yards from 4 ounces of fiber. Excuse me. And I finished it, and this, it's so funny, the whole time that I was spinning this yarn, I was like, this is just so pretty. I love the colors, the orange, the gray, the brown, the black, which the black kind of washed out when I washed it. I don't think it set in very well, but it's still gorgeous, gorgeous. And Josh, my husband, he was like, oh yeah, it's cool looking. It's really your favorite colors, I can tell you really like it. But then once I applied it, he was like, hey, what can you make me with that? I'm like, this has been my favorite color spin to date, and now you're trying to steal it that you like the way that it plied up? So, honestly, I'm probably gonna knit him a hat with it, because that's what he's like, I want like a slouchy beanie. And I was like, fine, I guess I love you so much that you can have it. But I like how the two-ply gives you this very round, very, very round single. So I'm not used to that, because when you do have a three-ply, it kind of lays flat on itself. So I'm sorry if there's background noise. I don't know if you can tell, but my craft room's really, really messy. I haven't cleaned it in a long time, and I have kitties getting into stuff, of course. So I do apologize if there's like some background rustling that you can hear. Sometimes I can't tell what the camera picks up because I just use the mic off the camera. But so anyways, I'm very pleased with my Fractal spin, and yeah, eventually this will probably be a slouchy beanie for my husband, because I love this yarn, but I love him too. So, since that's my only spinning for the week, I figured I would go ahead and talk about my Tour de Fleece finish line. So, I met my goal of spinning every day for at least 10 minutes, so I treated myself. And what's funny is I didn't even treat myself to yarn goodies. I did treat myself to that Falkland in the middle of the tour, so I guess I did. But my overall treatment to myself for being successful was a video game. Thanks, Lindsay. I went out and bought Pokemon X for my Game Boy. I've been having fun with it though. But so for Tour de Fleece, I was writing down how much I was spinning every day when I was spinning. So I ended up spinning for a total of 28 hours and 32 minutes. Oh my goodness. It's crazy. I had no idea that I would have spun for that long in 21 days, because I did rest on both of the rest days. That's ridiculous. And then I didn't count spinning singles or any spinning that I didn't finish. but I did finish 809 yards total. So this is just the, like, I counted 406 yards for my knitting color Falkland. And then, so I didn't count the actual singles. That would be a lot. But no, ended up with 809 finished yards of yarn. So I'd say overall, I think the tour was very successful for me this year. This was the first year I participated, and I'm really looking forward to participating next year. And I think my goals for next year are going to be to beat my stats. So spin for longer than 28 hours and spin and finish more than 809 yards of yarn. So, moving on to works in progress. I don't think you've seen either of these. So, I mean, I do have other works in progress, I just haven't been working on them, so I'm not going to share them, but I do have 2 new works in progress. So, here's one that I've been working on. I've been using my hand spun. I don't know if you guys remember this. Last week I shared that I finished the second 2 ounces of this. This was Gail's art in the Stony colorway. It's a merino bamboo silk. And so this is my second 2 ounces, and this is how much I have left of my first 2 ounces. So what am I making? So I cast on, and I have been knitting. This is the back. I have been knitting this gorgeous, gorgeous shawl. And I love the way that the colors are knitting up. You gotta love chain plying to keep the colors together, because you just get this, the color changes when I do that. You get this gorgeous, just graduation of colors. I absolutely love it. But this shawl is really cute. It has this cable that runs along the bottom edge. And it just is a very, very long triangle, and it will get longer and longer. So the original pattern, so this is Doncaster by Holly Dapp, and she has a podcast. If you haven't checked it out before, she's the host of the Swift Knits podcast, and she's hosting a Doncaster knit-along. So I went ahead and cast on with my hand spun, because I've been looking for a nice pattern to knit this into a shawl, since it is the silk bamboo. Woo, I love it. I'm knitting it on US size 6, which is what she recommended for the pattern. So yeah, the original pattern is fingering weight with US size 6, but it's like 460 plus yards, and I only have 440, so it might be a little short. But the pattern is written as such that you stop when you pretty much run out of yarn. So it'll just keep increasing and getting bigger and bigger, and then it will be worn this way, like a wraparound. It's a super cute pattern, and I know she mentioned on her podcast that this pattern could be knit in any weight. So just because it is more of like a recipe knit. It's super simple. After a couple repeats of the pattern, you have it memorized, and I'm really, Chester, I'm really enjoying it. Hey Chester kitty, come here little guy, come on, come see mom. I love this kitty. He is a lover, and like most of the times with cats you call them and they don't come, but this guy, he knows his name and he just needs attention. Hey, I know they can hear you in the blinds. Hey. Okay, hopefully he stops making noise in the blinds. But, so yeah, so that's the Doncaster shawl, and I've been enjoying that. And then the other project I cast on is, well, let's see. It's the Sunflower Satchel. Sunflower Satchel. And it will look like this. That's not the pattern, is it? Oh no. I just want to make sure. And this is for, I think I've mentioned before that Eat Sleep Knit, which is a yarn shop in Atlanta that is primarily online. They are doing a pretty cool marketing thing where they have the Yarnathon, where you try to, well, you get perks for buying yarn basically. And they have teams this year, and there's a lot that goes into it, and you can earn extra yards that don't include what you've bought, so you gain extra yardage towards your marathon worth of yarn, and you hit milestones along the way and you get bonuses. So I just hit my 5K, I think, and I got a $20 gift certificate. So, but each quarter they've been having knit-alongs where if you participate, you get extra yardage towards your yarn-a-thon goal, which will get you closer to those little bonus milestone gifts. And the key is you have to use their yarn. So, but since I already do a lot of my shopping from them, because I don't have a YS that's within at least an hour and a half of where I live, so it's not too big of a problem. But for the third quarter, the goal is to find something that you favorited when you, like the first year you are on Ravelry. Now, I didn't find Ravelry until like 2 years ago, so I am very new to Ravelry. Harvey, do not nudge the camera. The camera jumps, it's because Harvey is wanting to give you guys some love. So, what was I saying? You sleep knit, yarn-a-thon. Oh yeah, so it has to be a pattern that you favorited when you first joined. And since I only knew how to crochet when I first joined, I had favorited nothing but crochet patterns. But that's fine because this is a really cute pattern. So I did make a giant whoops. Not a super big deal. I've been crocheting long enough, I can work around it. But the pattern calls for Noro Silk Garden. Is that what it's called? Yeah, Noro Silk Garden. So I bought Noro Silk Garden. See? Noro Silk Garden in the 349. Is that what it is? Colorway? 349, yes. And it's gorgeous. You know, it's my colors I absolutely love. Well, if you follow the yarn to the next line, it says Noro Silk Garden sock. This is not sock. This is their Aran weight. Yes. So, I bought 2 skeins because that's what it said to make the, that I need to make the purse. And it's definitely not going to be enough because I got the wrong yarn. But I'm making the small size with the G-hook instead of the large size with the sock, which is what I was planning on doing. So far, this is my progress. And of course it's like motifs that are connected on the last round, so it's kind of chained together, so it will be hard to show you guys, because I finished the first row is nothing but half motifs, and then I've started connecting the whole motifs, and then I'll do that all the way around, and then there's another row of halves, and then you like crochet the bottom and then you crochet the top. So see if I can fold it in half without it being too flimsy, or if I hold it upside down, that will help. So this is how wide it is. It's only an inch wider than the large pattern with the sock, and I'm making this small with the Aran weight. So it works just fine, but with the 2 balls I will run out of yarn. So I need to order at least 1, maybe 2 more to be safe. But other than that giant whoops, I've been really happy with it. Now this is the kind of purse that of course I'm going to need a liner for. So I don't know what color I'm going to use. Here it is, kind of folded up. I'm going to wait until I see how all of these colors crochet up and then see what a good matching color is. I don't know. I mean, probably gray or cream or orange. But I'm thinking I'm going to sew a pocket on the inside and then have a zipper lining. So I have been enjoying that. I've already gone through 1 skein. Here's my second one, so not even halfway done. So I'll probably order 2 more later this week, but the cool thing is you pay a little bit more with shipping from Eat Sleep Knit, but it's like 2 to 3 day shipping, and because I'm 3 hours from Atlanta, it usually gets here next day, or sometimes 2 days. But I have been enjoying that. So moving on to finished objects. I finished my very first pair of socks for myself. Yay! I finished my Mystic Spiral socks by Josh Ricks. Harvey, get off the camera. No. Okay, see? He's just been sitting there and he's like, he keeps sniffing, you guys. You can't smell anything. So yeah, the Mystic Spiral socks by Josh Ricks. I don't know what happened with these because they like pretty much match, right? So I even have my one row of yellow at the top that I ended up binding off with. And the arrows match, and the heels match, and what the heck happened with my arrows? This arrow is yellow and red. This one is purple and red, kind of. But then the toes match again. So I like, this is an unexplained mystery to me. I have no idea what happened, because they match everywhere else. What? It's a mystery. But I'm extremely happy. My very first pair of socks. It's so funny because I've already worn them and I've washed them, and I don't have sock blockers. And it's pretty funny when my husband knows that I need them. I watch a lot of podcasts, and he'll be playing video games on the big TV, and I'll have my tablet watching podcasts, and I normally don't use earbuds, so he'll hear along, and sometimes he'll look over, and I don't remember who I was watching, but they had their socks on sock blockers. I mean, a lot of podcasters do. And he's like, "Hey babe, you need those." Thanks, babe. maybe I'll get some for Christmas. But so these were a lot of fun to knit. It is a pay-for pattern, but it comes with the OMG heel in it by Megan Williams, so that's cool. And it's written in sections, so I don't know if you guys knit like I do. It's nice to mark your progress. You know, I think there's 6 or so sections, so you get through section 1 and you're like, oh yeah, section 2, instead of like just knit for 1,000,000 rows or repeat this pattern for 1,000,000 rows, you're like, oh man, how far have I even gotten? So I really enjoyed that. I feel like it made the socks go by faster. So yay, my very first finished pair of socks for myself. And this was some Wool to Die For platinum sock that I got online that I attempted to self-stripe. I did okay. And then the other finished object I have, you guys haven't even seen. So this is a Noble Cowl, and this is Cascade Yarns Sunseeker. So if I get really close, can you see the glitter? Kind of. The light doesn't like to show it. So I think Chester kind of closed my blinds because I don't think I've ever seen the blind shades like that before. Thanks, Chester. But I made this cowl. Now it's kind of long and it's kind of big, and she tells you in the pattern that she really likes to pin her cowls. So, I mean, you could just kind of fold it up, pin it. I mean, really it doesn't look that bad on its own, just kind of hanging there. I might pin it. Who knows? You know, you can fiddle with cowls forever. But I made this cowl to match a hat I made over the winter. This hat is the Everglade hat by Woolly Wormhead. Well, and actually, I fold the brim up, but it's a couple inches of a twisted rib, which I really don't like the way it turned out with this yarn. This yarn is a cotton acrylic blend, so I'm not happy with the brim. So I just roll it up, but so now I have a set, and that's really exciting. And my hat, my slouchy lacy hat with my slouchy lacy cowl. So I'm super excited to wear this as it starts to cool off, which is going to take forever because Georgia sucks and it's always really hot and humid here. Like, it's raining today and it's still like 85 degrees out with 1,000,000% humidity. Why, Georgia? Why? I don't know. I think I've told you guys a long time ago that I was born and raised in Washington State, so when it's raining outside, it's cold, so you put on a raincoat and you're good to go. Well, actually, I never wore a raincoat in Washington. I just wore a sweatshirt or a coat, and you just kind of deal with getting wet because it's like a sprinkling. It's usually not a downpour. It just kind of mists. But here, first of all, it's hot, and then it's just downpouring. So it's too hot for a raincoat. You're in like a tank top and shorts, and now you're just soaked. What the heck? I only got another year down here, then I can move to my home of the Pacific Northwest. Yes, please. But yeah, cotton acrylic, I like it. Doesn't really block very well, but the cool thing about cotton is it like weighs down. So all I had to do was wash it, and then just kind of, I folded it over the back of my chair like this, and the weight from the water pulled the stitches out. Well, it didn't pull them out, you know what I mean? It stretched them out, and it kind of blocked them. So you can come up. You can come up. Okay. Okay. Okay, see why I named this guy Chester? If I was on the couch, he would like try to lay just right up here on my neck, on my chest. Yeah, you can't. He's trying to figure it out. Just stay in my lap. Okay. And then I also finished some stitch markers. I picked up these beads a while ago on sale. Well, they're like little spirals, and they had little matching ones. So I've been using these for like bigger projects. Not so good for socks. And so moving on to check it out. Okay, Chester, you're gonna have to get out of my lap because I gotta stand up for check it out. So for check it out this week, I wanted to share with you guys, like, have you ever made anything ridiculous? Like, just absolutely ridiculous, and you're like, why did I do that? And why is this so ridiculous? For me, it was my very first blanket I ever made. I was 16 years old, and I had really just picked up crocheting again because I learned when I was about 8 or 9, and I would do it off and on for years, and then I just kind of quit for pretty much my preteen and early teen ages. And then when I turned 16, I picked it up again, and I had inherited a bunch of, yarn from my great-grandmother who had passed away, and I was the only one who crocheted. So the yarn went to me, and I just was giant plastic bins of acrylic. And so since I didn't really have money to buy my own yarn, I just would use what I inherited. And at the time I was dating my husband, and I made him a blanket. And why I made this blanket so huge, I have no idea. So this is just a granny square blanket, which is like 85% my great-grandma's yarn that I inherited. I think I bought some of the black. She had a lot of black, but I ran out and had to buy more. And I think I just bought Red Heart. So let me share this with you guys. Okay. This blanket is, so here's a square, right? This blanket is 8 by 10. So I can't even hold it arm's width to show you guys because it's so huge. Like, this is how huge it is. I'm like a giant granny square ghost. Still going. Still going. So I have no idea what the heck I was thinking. Why is this blanket so big? I have no idea. But it's very warm. It's old. So I made this, what, 9 years ago? And so it's been washed a lot. So it's softened up quite a bit. But I mean, this is ridiculous, you guys. Tell me you've done something ridiculous like this. So yeah, I thought you might get a kick out of that. I guess I go big, huh? Very first blanket, no playing around. I have no idea how long that took me. I do remember when I finished all the squares, I absolutely hated seaming them together. That was my least favorite part because I wasn't a very experienced sewer. So, but yeah, so I gave that to him when I was 16, and we broke up. And we spent like 3 or 4 years apart, and then we just kind of like rekindled our connection, you know, like 4 or 5 years ago, and he still had it. So now it's down here with us in Georgia. But I'm so glad he kept it, because sometimes when you're dating people in high school, they get mad and throw things away, and I'm so glad he never got rid of that blanket. But so moving on to current events. So I finished Clue 2 of the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery's Mysterious Halloween Town Club, and here it is. It is so cute. Absolutely love it. So Clue 2 is the house with the owl and the little jack-o'-lantern and the little lantern light. That is so cute. I felt like the second clue was a lot shorter than the first clue, but I'm not complaining. And it's funny, the way my linen stretched out on this Q-snap frame, it looks like I stitched the pattern up, but I didn't. It's all even. It's just the way the linen is stretched right now. So I'm excited for the next clue. I don't think the next clue comes out for another 2 or 3 weeks. But I had to wait for Tour de Fleece to end so I could catch up on that. But and then also for current events, I am hosting the Mindful Spin Along in the group. So go ahead, check out the MandoBug Crafts Ravelry group for the details. Still don't have prizes picked out yet, but there will be 2 fiber prizes with maybe added goodies. I'm thinking about, depending on how much time I have, I do have scrap fabric stash. I'm thinking about making small project bags to go along with the fiber. So I just have to pick out the fiber. I'll probably dye 1 braid and buy 1 braid. So, but I promise they will be good prizes. I think I give out pretty good prizes. So, but upcoming events, I don't have any upcoming events. So yeah, that's all I got for you guys, unless you want to see the other yarn I got from Eat Sleep Knit when I ordered the Noro. I also got 2 skeins for the baby blanket I'm making. This is Blue Skies Alpaca Worsted Cotton. It's not alpaca. The brand is Blue Skies Alpaca. Is that confusing? Right? It is blue. Yeah, it is Blue Sky Alpacas. But this is worsted cotton. And it's really soft. And it makes it super affordable to buy 2 skeins like every 2 weeks, as I've been knitting this blanket throughout the year. Because if you had to buy that all at once, ouch. And also, I don't want to think about the total. This is the first time I'm making a blanket out of nice yarn. Ouch. That's my pocket hurting. So much money. And then, so I was like a handful of yards away from my 5K. And I wanted to get that $20 gift certificate, so I went ahead and picked up this Dream in Color Classy that is being discontinued because they have a new version of Classy that's out. So of course I just picked out this orange worsted. You can never go wrong with your favorite color and worsted weight. I see why they're remaking it. They said the newer version is softer. This is a little scratchy. Not bad, but not normal Dream in Color quality. At least what I've gotten from their Smushy and their Smushy with Cashmere. So yeah, that's really all I have now. So I hope you guys made some pretty good progress on your crafts, and I will see you in a week or 2.